Hello, this is Kenji, and I am going to be presenting my final slides for the Marble Rivals DMS. Let's start with the rubric, so I can follow the rubric introduction, requirements, implementation plan, testing, deployment, and phases. In each of them, discuss each op phase of the project and how it changed as additional layers were added. So then it goes to demonstration, conclusion, reflection, and then in the demonstration section, I'm going to do the tests and then the comments. So let's start. Uh, for the table of content, let's follow the rubrics. Let's also introductions. So at the beginning of this course, Software Developer 1, I am taking at Valencia College in Orlando. We students were assigned to create a DMS, which stands for Data Management System. Um, the most important goal was that the program never crashes, that it performs CRUD operation, which means create, read, update, and delete, and also exit the program when the user select exit. Also, the DMS must be developed in phases. Before the four phases, we have a plan, which is writing what we plan to do beforehand or the idealization of how the project must be done. And then we follow with logic testing, database, and GUI and test. In this case, I have decided to create a DMS storage management or database management for my favorite game, which is Marvel Rivals. And you will see a lot of characters from then in my slides. So the requirements pretty much we need a hero class. It will be based on the hero. So like for example, the ID they are going to be 3 digits, the name string, maximum three words, the health point which is going to be HP, the movement speed 6 to 9, equal to damage, the how much damage per second it will do, and the role. And then we were told we need to do also one custom method, and in this case, it will be calculated from the website in season 0 for the game Marvel Rebels, which is calculated from the character matches won divided by matches played, multiplied by 100, and then we have a percentage, for example. And then, as mentioned, the requirement will be to do crew operations. They have to be first phase one logic, then you go testing and then GUI and database. Won't be crashing, and the user must be able to press an option to exit. Also, we will require a computer or a gaming PC for running this. Just me being a little more sophisticated than it should, but the program will be able to respond within 5 seconds. The size will be less than 256. Memory, the storage support range of 100 plus 100 euros. The training time is less than 1 hour. Reliability must be availability 80% and recover from on crash within 2 minutes, which is very wide number, but portability could be used in Windows, Java, and SQL. So going next to the implementation plan. So for my architecture pattern, I at the beginning I decided to follow layer scale, which is a phase. How can I say? Layer by layer, as the name says. So you start doing logic and then you finish that section, then you get the feedback from the instructor, and then you continue with the testing, and then you continue with the GUI and database. So uh, in the timeline, you have to focus first on one object and then the next, and then you get the feedback and the next, so on. So I follow the book instruction, the software engineering third edition from Ian Somerville, who mentioned that it is nice to follow a layered because you build the program little by little and then you get feedback and you continue moving on. Um, this was my initial um, project, I remember I create this UML diagram, and at the end was pretty much similar. We have data access later, database connection. We start the program with the Memorize app, which was the logic side only, and then it will we create the objects, which is like the characters, and then we'll use the public class hero, and then will be connected to the database and the GUI as well. And for the testing, I created a bigger. Oh, this is the same. Yeah, I create a bigger diagram. It's so big. I needed more space for this one. Um, the testing actually was pretty simple because I was testing values predefined. So if it's correct, next. This is when you add a data, and then there is three more for testing the remove. So in this case, it will check if the hero exists before actually like going next, and then it will make sure that is removed correctly. So that was pretty much I did before actually doing the GUI and database, and the update the same. So in the database, we have to uh, check if the hero exists before actually doing the whole input. So I followed this instruction during my the last developer cycle. So it was very useful to plan ahead of time. Uh, so I would say that the testing portion helped me a lot with the developing of the code, and following the cycle, I was able to figure out that planning before was better than just go straight to performing the test. Deployment. So for deployment, I remember I have little struggle with jar files acceptable. So the way we create a jar file was to go to IntelliJ, and there's an option to build artifact, which is build, and then every time you need to rebuild it, you can do it. And then you gotta I was testing my jar files on my laptop and my PC before submitting because sometimes it didn't run. So this file will include all the class necessary packages, and then whenever we need to execute it, we just go to command line and then go to the folder and then type Java jar and then the name of the jar file that you created. So the deployment phase was very important for me. I did found very interesting as the program evolve, you gotta rebuild it and then make sure all the packages are included. Otherwise, it won't run as wanted. You want. So now let's go to the phases and how it changed as additional layers were added. Um, the first phase, and I have all documented on my GitHub. Uh, this is what it looks like. The phase one, the console-based program, very simple. Um, However, I would say that the more you develop the program, like you get very you develop also like love for your program, and you wanna keep adding more features. However, it's really good, as mentioned, to plan before, because sometimes you think something is going to be easy, but then takes more time. So it's better to stick to what the initial plan is, and then not to go in different paths. And in the logic section, it was really nice to have this organization. For the testing also, a unit test. We're just testing on the in-memory objects, no database yet, and use sample of plus 42 heroes data to make sure it works as is pretended, following the UML diagram I previously showed. Um, then for phase 3 with the GUI, this was my original idealization, let's say, like the hover over, which already included, I will show you, and the colors in palette. I tried to use as much of the Marble Rivals colors so the user can identify the GUI. Um, it was really nice experience to be able to create the GUI as one initial plan. The more I was like playing around with the colors, and was I realized I was investing a lot of time, which is like you're creating your own app, so it's very fun to do it. But as mentioned, it's better to stick to the plan because it won't take more or longer than planned. And for the database, I decided to use the SQLite. Um, for this phase, I did find SQL easier than Java coding. Um, it was pretty straightforward for me to do the database section. So I really appreciate this whole project being able to incorporate the GUI in database and the logic, because you are doing front end and back end, and the experience I got was really nice, and I plan to use this as a portfolio in the future. So now let's go to the demonstration uh, of the project. So let's go to the code. So let's start with the Malware Rebel app. So this is phase one. So if I run, you'll see here the uh, command line. So this is the console-based program. Here you see the indication you wanna run, you wanna load like a CSV file. But now let's just for the purpose of the demonstration, let's do creating one a hero. Remember, there's no database here, it's just in memory. So let's do like creating one and hero identity. So it will prompt to enter all the information in sequential order. For one now, hero identity ID. So it will be 3 digits, 0 to 9. Let's do just 1, 2, 3. Type 3 words. Let's do Jeff the shark. Let's shark, Jeff Shark. And then let's do the help HP help the point. Let's do 275. Then this is the movement speed. Let's do like 8, and you will see always here like the indication of what's allowed. Let's do ultimate damage. Let's do 7,500. Let's do vanguard, and then let's do like 85.75. So once all the input have been like recorded, it will be added successfully and it will print the information you just entered. So we can like maybe do search like another function, and then you put 1, 2, 3, and it will give you all the information from the just type information. Then let's generate a PDF so just we can show you the custom method, which is the percentage of win rate organization. So let's see. So amazing. So you have been generated a document in here. So that's the console base. Let me look at it real quick here if we can open this file so I can show you what the file looks like. Boom. And it was my variable generated this one. No? Yes, so that's the information we just added. So that was the console base. So this is phase one, right? So now we tested, we do the navigation test. Now we go to GUI and database. So instead of opening the My Variables app, we got to open now the mainframe, which includes all the code until phase 4. Um, all is commented, so it's this part of the rubric. Uh, Now we're going to test all these functions in live so we can show the program actually works. So let's do this. Let's go to mainframe, which is here, run mainframe, and it will pop up a window like this to connect to SQL. Um, so in this folder, I have already include the Heroes database. So you just copy the path, absolute path, and then what is the program? Oh, right here. So we just type it, open, connect, and it's opening here. It looks like this. This is the hover over function. Took me time to do it, but it's nice. Yeah. So this is now database is no more longer in memory like temporary. So I have opened it here. The database you see is 42, and you see here also 42. So let's perform the display, also display right here. Now read, it will also read. Oh, okay, what's okay display? Maybe it's create data. So let's do create data. So since we have until 42, let's create a 43. Let's do let's do me. I am hero now for some reason for the final. Health point, let's do 275. The speed 6 and the ultimate damage 375. Let's do iron strategies and then the win rate 90.75. Then you do okay and it will create. So in the database it should be reflect here too. So we just refresh here and then boom, we got it. That's the create. Then let's remove. So basically I wanted to just be able to select and remove. So very easy. Select, remove, and it will pop up. Double check, confirm. Remove hero 403 4043 and then say yes. So in here you refresh and should be gone. Great. Update. So let's try update. Let's do update for 42. Update. So this time when you click update, it will populate all the fields. So let's just say we want to change Wolverine to the Wolverine. So pretty easy addition. Okay. And then as you see here, immediately it reflects the new value. And here, when you refresh, is also changing. So this is for update data. Uh, the custom feature. So now let's add something big. So let's do like 1, 2, 3, right? And then let's do Kenji again, Nakanishi. So the health point to 75, 79, and then let's do for round number. The one that I want is show you is that the PDF will be generated based on win rate. So when I create a crazy big win rate like 97.99, so if I hit generate PDF, it just asks you where you wanna save it. So let's do final PDF desktop, and it will automatically open. And if you see, it's not ordered by the ID, rather it's ordered by win rate. So now I just create on purpose a big number, so it will be shown at the first row. Yes, row. So that's very much the program. I really enjoy so far creating this program. And now the final part of the presentation is going to be the conclusion or reflection. Yes, so I really think that the initial ideas of what the program is going to be uh, is more like idealization, but at the end, it's very hard to do the code as just thinking. It's because experience, I didn't have this much experience of like integrating GUI database and logic. So if something like, oh, I want to create this button, like pictures of add this function on the GUI, it might sound easy, but when actually coding might be more complex than you think or you thought, like joining ideas. So that's 2 points that I want to reflect on now. Um, Also, it happened to me that it was kind of hard to just stick to what the plan was. It like I really wanted to add like search function or like add the picture to hover over and like open the picture so it's more easy but user friendly. But those are more like looks nice to have than needed. So the initial plan indication what must be followed. The more I code, I wanted to like do more. However, it will take more time and also it's my adding more complexity. And it was really fun for me. I will say that this class was really, I would say challenging, yes, but at the same time was an experience and it pushed me to towards like learning toward using more GitHub. Also, I have the GitHub here. Something I really like about the course was that I was able to upload my projects. Everything here is organized As you might see here, all the files are updated here, and I also have to update these slides to this GitHub with the code so you guys can all see. But what I wanna end is that I wanna end the reflection saying that this is part of my portfolio, so I can use on future interviews process or like experience. So I really enjoy taking this class and being able to develop this project, and I really talk about it really proudly. So nice for that. Nice to. I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and thank you, Professor or Dr. Macon, for your teaching. Bye bye.